Catherine and gentlemen, start your engines.
Greg McTavish, ladies and gentlemen, everybody enjoy this.
The command delivered to fire the motors. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton about to begin. Greg McTavish, the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers, runner-up in the Stanley Cup Finals just a few weeks ago. Right. Welcome to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. The 8th round in this year's Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Alongside is Derek Daly. Jan Beekes and Cameron Steele on pit road. Michelle Beisner with us as well for all the coverage of today's event. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, can A.J. Allmendinger, who's won 3 in a row, make it 4 here today? You know the story by now. Fired by Roosevelt this year, then hired by Forsyth, all within a week's time. Then adding to the legend, his first victory at Portland, backed up with wins at Cleveland and Toronto. A firestorm performance that has the whole field, including his teammate Paul Tracy, wondering if he can ever be stopped. One driver who thinks he can stop him is Sebastian Bourdain, who won the first 4 races this season. Bourdain back on pole. He claims the Bridgestone Pole Award and the McDonald's #1, worth $5,000. He's the pole starter for the 4th time this year. Dominguez, Junqueira, and Wilson, along with the 3-time winner Allmendinger, other drivers to claim the Bridgestone Pole Award this season. Our starting lineup today, powered by Ford. Bourdain on pole in car #1. Paul Tracy alongside in the Index Forsyth, car #3. Second row, the CDW 9 of Justin Wilson. The Index 7 of A.J. Allmendinger, who's won those last 3 events. Row 3, the Gulfstream car of Oriol Servia. The CTE HVM #4 of birthday boy Nelson Philippe. Row #4 here today, Will Power in the Aussie Vineyards, car #5. Andrew Ranger in the Tide MyJack, car #27. Fifth row, Bruno Junqueira, the hole-in-the-wall Camps Deuce. And Mario Dominguez in the Sonny's Barbecue, #19 for Dale Coyne's team. Sixth row, the Aussie Vineyards 15 of Alex Tagliani. The Muirmans, car #11 of Jan Halen, will start 12th here this weekend. Seventh row, Charles Wolzman, the rookie from MyJack 34. And the former series champ Cristiano Damata in the Roosevelt, car #10. Row #8, Catherine Legg in the Bell Micro, #20 for the PKV team. Nicky Pastorelli's had a difficult weekend returning in the Rocket Sports 8. Dan Clark wrecked yesterday on the CTE HVM car. And Denise Kasevets in the Flexivy, car #18. Field is on the racetrack here in Edmonton. Second renewal of this event. Driver goes to victory lane today. We'll have plenty of sweet emotion to call out at the end. If he wins, just 25 points back in second. Wilson right there as well. Then you've got a log jam for 4th. Ranger, Tagliani, and Tracy. Derek, take us around this 14-turn road course.
And this is built on an airport facility much like Cleveland. It is fast. In fact, it is very, very fast. Turns 13 and 14 are almost frightening when you see the cars come through there. Very hard to keep your car in control at a track this fast. Have a look at our onboard cameras. 3 different onboard looks. We'll ride with Nelson Philippe in that Wellbox CTE HVM car #4. Philippe celebrating his 20th birthday here this weekend. We will watch him at work among a couple of other views on board that machine. Great run going at Toronto before a huge wreck. We'll ride with the CDW car of Justin Wilson, car #9. We'll look back at Wilson. 2 wins last year, still searching for his first victory of 2006. We also have onboard looks today with Andrew Ranger in the Tide MyJack, car #27. Good qualifying effort for the MyJack team. Ranger still age 19. It's been a warm weekend here, Derek.
It is a glorious day of sunshine here, just perfect for racing, maybe a touch warm for the drivers. This is physically one of the most difficult racetracks to compete on. It's so fast and the G-forces are so high.
Now, what will we see here in terms of race strategies and pit windows?
When you look at the pit window, laps 17 to 35, that is the time that you can stop for a load of fuel and still make it on what we call a normal strategy. If there's yellows, that could change.
Getting ready for green, Paul Tracy has had a challenging weekend in qualifying Saturday. PT trying to snag the pole here, instead lost the Index car #3, backed it into the wall, knocked the rear wing off. One more look at it. They were able to bring that car to pit road. Not a lot of damage. The Forsyth team going to work, putting that wing on. PT came out today. He did come back and snag the 2nd quick time in the final qualifying section. He had to give up his fastest lap. He had problems in the morning warm-up today. The car got away from him, but he was able to gather it back up. No damage, and Tracy will start in 2nd spot alongside Bourdain. 85 laps to go. Glad to have you with us for the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton. 8th race of 2006. We're underway. car goes around. One car into the wall. D'Amata hard into the tire barrier. Trouble in turn 1 at Edmonton. Bruno Junqueira, yeah.
Hard to believe, and D'Amata looked like an innocent bystander. Had nowhere to go. Boy, he just rocketed straight into the wall. Have a look here. There's Junqueira spins, but D'Amata had nowhere to go because it looked like Tagliani on the outside, and Dominguez drove around the outside of Junqueira and left D'Amata nowhere to go except bury it into the wall. Here it is again. Watch middle of your screen, middle of the screen right there. Here's Bruno, just loses it all by himself. There goes Tag to the outside. He takes Dominguez with him. He didn't touch Cristiano, but he led him straight to the tire wall.
Now the two Team Australia cars, Will Power out-qualified his teammate Tagliani, and I think that was power that Junqueira just had to avoid there, and that threw, of course, D'Amata into the tire.
Hard to believe. Start number 100 for Cristiano D'Amata, and he does hardly make it 100 yards. This is a celebration earlier on this morning at the Roo Sports tent. Tagliani on the right side, Oriol Servia, Jimmy Vasser there, all drivers who are here this weekend who also competed in 100 events at least. Boy, look at that.
D'Amata off the racetrack, being escorted away by the Champ Car safety team. Among the drivers today with more than 100 starts, Paul Tracy is the leader with 244 coming in here today. He was unable to make that ceremony this morning.
Look at Junqueira. He has 81 starts. What a disaster.
Yeah, he
First corner, and he just didn't get the timing right in qualifying. Spun, hit the wall. So many people spun this weekend. This is a very difficult racetrack to keep your car between the grass verges.
So we do not complete one lap under green. Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton, we're underway, and Sebastian Bourdain with the pole, Tracy alongside. We'll be right back.
Since joining Forsyth Racing,
Coming up, your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Winter trip to the Grand Prix of San Jose, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenzas or a subscription to Auto Week. The grand prize winner gets a new Ford Mustang GT. Joins us in Mexico City for the season finale. Stay tuned for this week's code word, the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes, brought to you by Bridgestone. Our Toronto winners are here this weekend in Edmonton, and they were able to enjoy a ride in the Ford GT. Meeting some of the favorite Champ Car stars, A.J. Allmendinger, Paul Tracy, Sebastian Bourdain, and this could be you. Enter today, and you could join us in San Jose next week. Mr. and Mrs. Dupree from Plano, Texas, joining us here this weekend in Edmonton. Preparing for a restart here in Edmonton. Sebastian Bourdain on the pole, Paul Tracy alongside, coming down the final straightaway. It'll be single file through this jog, right then left, and on to the front stretch. Here we go again. This begins lap number 3 of 85, the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton.
That essence that just came through is almost 160 miles an hour in qualifying. It is frightening to stand down there to see these cars come through. But Tracy, we're expecting Tracy to potentially show the muscle power he's shown in the last couple of days. He believes he has a car as fast as anybody. And this is a place where mistakes, people are prone to make mistakes. And you make a mistake here, it's usually at high speed.
Third spot belongs to Justin Wilson. Derek, most of the leaders electing to open the race on the Bridgestone alternates, including Paul Tracy. Tracy, of course, looking for his first victory here of 2006. Very fast all weekend. Second in qualifying, despite the spin yesterday, knocking the rear wing off the Forsyth Index 3 car. And Tracy learned a lot, I think, at Toronto. He came second there to A.J. Allmendinger, who won his third consecutive race. But I think Tracy's got some new confidence together this week.
Oh, see that bump on the way in, and then there's a bump right in the middle there. That's what caught out a couple of people. There were some big crashes in qualifying there and in practice. Jan?
Yes, and we have had the long walk for Cristiano D'Amata back to the Roo Sport engineering facility, as they call it. They're trying to get a quick word with him. He knows that he's going to talk to us. Not the way that you wanted to have your 100th start. What happened?
Well, I was committed on the outside. Somebody spun, or I don't know who touched some. I think it was either a white and red car. Couldn't see. I was being covered by other car a little bit, so started coming towards me, and it was going to collect me. So I had to try to go around the outside, but there wasn't enough space. So ended up hitting the wall there. So, nah, pretty disappointed.
Sorry you're out early. Thank you.
And it looks as though Nicky Pastorelli has gone around. Now, this would be Pastorelli's third wreck of the weekend in the Curacao car number 8. And Bruno Junqueira, did he get caught up in it as well? No, that's the Bell Micro car going by of Catherine Legge. Pastorelli has stalled the 8 car.
Catherine is involved also. Her wing was hanging off the back of that PKV car. See some skid marks. Not sure where the... Okay, here we go.
Turns 5 and 6 again.
Pastorelli loses it on... Oh, Catherine gets on the brakes to try and miss Pastorelli and just kisses the wall with her rear wing.
Jan Halen has stuck the Muirman's number 11 in the tires as well. So 6 laps, and we are under caution again. Yes.
Catherine talking to her crew, trying to alert them to the condition of the car.
Hey, get exclusive video highlights from the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton and play free fantasy football on CBS Sportsline. Discover how fantasy makes it more fun to be a fan. Sign up at cbssportsline.com and click on Fantasy Football. Back in Edmonton, a chance to take a look at our Mazda Power Play this weekend. Have a look back at the Champ Car Atlantic Championship powered by Mazda in Long Beach. Andreas Wirth scored his first of 2 consecutive victories to open the season. While in Monterrey, Mexico, Graham Rahal was the dominant player there. In Houston, it then was Andreas Wirth. Wirth off to a great start of the championship. Now at Portland, there was this huge wreck in turns 1 and 2. Graham Rahal was taken out immediately at the start. That opened the door for James Hinchcliffe to score an upset win. He came from 10th late in the race. Cleveland was a doubleheader weekend. And Graham Rahal very fast in that Geel car number 18. Dad Bobby there to cheer him on. That's one of the MyJack Conquest cars in Toronto. Again, a turn 1 incident. Several cars involved. Rafael Matos, Rahal taken out. Robbie Pecorari from Pennsylvania scored his first career Atlantic win. That was 2 weeks ago. And the Atlantic event today will follow the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton. So the Atlantic teams, the feature event in some regards, they will be the final event of the weekend here in Edmonton. That is something unusual for those drivers and teams. But meantime, getting set to go green once again. Our third try at a lap under green. We're putting lap 9 on the board this time, and it'll be Bourdain and Tracy. Nose to tail. They shared the front row. Wilson and Allmendinger line up behind.
And you can see they're both on the softer, little bit faster of the Bridgestone red Potenzas. Not as big a difference between the Bridgestone reds and the regulars this weekend. So everybody just about elects to start on these reds.
Bourdain slowly bringing them toward the line. Have a look back at what happened to Legge here.
This is Catherine again. Watch her come into the bottom right side of your picture. Pastorelli's already in the wall. Catherine realizes she's going to drive right into him, jumps on the brakes, car gets away from her, kisses the wall. So they've elected to bring her in, fix her. She's at the back of the field. Now they're a lap down, but they're hoping to make that up under yellow. And here goes Bourdain again, running from Tracy.
Now remember, a year ago, Bourdain started 10th after problems in qualifying. Came from 10th to win. Where he likes to be at the head of the class. Riding here with Philippe in car number 4.
Philippe is 6th. Philippe has gone well all weekend here. 20 years old just today. Oh, just gets her a bit sideways. You've got to correct it. These speeds are so high down through these S's. Lots of runoff, I know, but you lose so much time. But if you lose it to the left side, look at that concrete down the left side.
That well-box CTE HVM car number 4, Nelson Philippe, a hard wreck at Toronto 2 weeks ago. And what about A.J. Allmendinger? Been on the front row the last 3 races. He's won 3 straight. Had to line up 4th here today after they battled back through qualifying, and he is 4th in line right now.
Harder work to do today, does A.J. Allmendinger, Jan?
And one of the things he's battling, Derek, is he's feeling very poorly. He has flu-like symptoms and told me this morning, as badly as I feel, I don't think that I can make a race distance. Now, of course, Derek, as you know, once that adrenaline gets pumping, sometimes you feel a lot different. But there's no question, A.J. Allmendinger is playing hurt.
You absolutely said it right, Jan. Once the adrenaline goes, nothing like a good sweat to sweat all that badness out again. Get on with it. You go, he's almost off the road. Man, he put a wheel on the dirt and just about got away with it, did Allmendinger.
This is Tracy 2nd now, leading Wilson in 3rd. Allmendinger is 4th. 5th belongs to Oriol Servia, who started to pick it up in the Bell Micro PKV car, actually the Gulfstream PKV car, car number 6. Bourdain with the quickest lap of the day so far. It's still early, working lap number 11, riding here with Tracy. A year ago, Allmendinger looked as though he had his first career win all but in the bag, Derek, before that late wreck.
And that's what we saw. He blamed himself. But this morning, or in qualifying Friday, he was on fire again. And look at this, boom! That is only one corner. Look at this. This is the first time he's damaged a four-side car. Saturday, he comes out again and gets it all wrong, trying to get on that front row again, and he almost just did it 2 laps earlier.
The frustration really starting to set in at that point, but today is race day. It's a whole different outlook.
He came back and said to Neil Micklewhite, "I'm sorry for what I did to your car." Neil said, "Never come back and tell us you're sorry. We are so happy that you're driving the wheels off our cars. We will fix it for you and send you out again."
Working lap number 12 of 85. This is Allmendinger sitting 4th. Now, he's been patient these last couple of weeks. He had dominated at Portland, very strong at Cleveland, but came from behind there. Came from behind at Toronto as well 2 weeks ago to win. At the moment, in 4th position, probably in great shape at the moment.
Yeah, steering is heavy on this car this weekend. Doesn't quite like the feel, finds it a bit hard work. When a driver has heavy steering feel, oftentimes he can't quite position the car where you need it at the apex. And at the speed they go here, you have to be absolutely inch perfect. On board now with Andrew Ranger. I thought he did a great job to put that car 8th on the grid. This is a Conquest racing car. So much support in Canada here for Andrew Ranger.
Ranger doing a nice job 4th in the championship, now tied with Alex Tagliani coming in here. And right behind Ranger is Tagliani. Those two locked in quite a championship battle. Remember, Tag essentially scored no points at Milwaukee. Couldn't take the green there because he had that huge wreck in the final warm-up before race time back at the Milwaukee Mile in the month of June.
You're looking back at Tag and the Team Australia. He did a round-the-world tour just about. Went to Australia, multiple cities to promote the upcoming race at Surfers Paradise. And the braking seems to close up slightly. Actually, Ranger's in the middle of a sandwich here because Will Power, Tag's teammate, is just ahead of Andrew Ranger. In a virtually new car, he destroyed a car in practice on Friday. And again, Walker Racing, they're getting used to this now.
Yeah.
Built a whole new car in the middle of the paddock here.
I think they've used 4 tubs this season, and Power really threw a scare into a lot of us on Friday. We'll show that to you a little later on as we watch Charles Wolzman and the other Myjack Conquest machine roll by. Wolzman at the moment up to 10th, so he's got a very good run going here in the early laps as we have run several under green for the first time today. 13 of 85 complete. Bourdain still out on top. He's got a 1.4-second advantage over Paul Tracy. Tagliani, the 110 career starts, the win 2 years ago at Road America, and a drive for Rocket Sports Racing in that Carnival 8 that Nicky Pastorelli just wrecked a few moments ago.
It's Tag. For those of you with the beady eyes, you'll see Tag has a red rear wing. These are virtually identical cars, but Tag will carry that red rear wing flap so you can identify him clearly from Will Power, his teammate, who has the black rear wing on his Team Australia car.
And hey, the championship leader going for 3 consecutive Champ Car titles. We showed you earlier how Bourdain had a great start to this season. 4 consecutive wins, has taken the back seat subsequently. Here a year ago, we told you Bourdain started 10th. It was an upset win, really. 10th to win. A late pass got him to victory lane here on his way to his 2005 Champ Car World Series title. And Bourdain is the championship leader this year as he goes for 3 consecutive titles in this very competitive Champ Car World Series.
One thing Newman Haas did do when they came here, they came with a different set of philosophy. They were not fast enough last year here, so the velocity change in the setup was something they rolled out here on Friday. Bourdain liked it, thought he had some more work to do on it. But this looks like they are back where we normally see the Newman Haas and the McDonald's team. On board now with Nelson Philippe. Here he grabs the gear in the brake zones. A lot of caster on these wheels. Caster means just kick back in the steering. The wheels want to self-center. These curves, concrete walls, they run right beside them. That is Serbia in the PKV car right ahead of him.
Philippe is 6th, trying to track down Serbia in car number 6, and there is the 5 of Will Power. He is 7th in the Aussie Vineyards machine. And Power has been fast this weekend as well, there.
I think Power is having one of his best weekends. I know he's run this well in the past, but overall, that was Derek Walker on the radio to Will Power saying, use your time wisely, save some fuel. But Will Power, every session here, has been on the pace, but he had a frightening incident early on Friday. Everybody held their breath when they saw it unfold.
Have a look at this. Power had the car get away from him. This is where Dan Clark wrecked, but this one ended differently.
This is 150 miles an hour. Boom! Our cameraman had to jump. Watch the slow-mo. The car smashes into the camera position. Bodywork breaks off the car. Will Power was, I mean, he was shaking when they took him from that car. Our camera.
7th, that incident happened about a quarter mile from our broadcast location. It was loud enough that we could hear it here without any audio enhancement. CDW car number 9, Justin Wilson, continues to run 3rd. The Roost Sport entry. Wilson, having won twice a year ago, has not been to victory lane yet this year, and the frustration, I think, is starting to settle in with him a little bit. He really wants to get to the top step of the podium here.
We told you earlier how warm it was yesterday. It's equally as warm today. We saw the little air intake on the cockpit of Wilson's car. Wilson's car to duct air down inside. Yeah, he's got that going into his driver's uniform, I think, just to get some cool air inside. It is so physically difficult to drive at these speeds. Serbia fighting with the car.
Serbia with a good day going, up in 5th right now. A.J. Allmendinger trying to track down Justin Wilson. 2 former teammates until a couple of weeks ago when Allmendinger was let go by Roost Sport. Hired a couple of days later by the Forsyth team, and you know the story, the 3 consecutive wins. Allmendinger battling back after not feeling well. That's Nelson Philippe in car number 4. The CT HVM Burden of Bear entry. Philippe sitting 6th. As chip leader, A.J. Allmendinger continues in 4th position. He is a couple of seconds back. And we'll be right back with more of the Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton after this message and a word from your local CBS station. In the McDonald's car number 1, he has led all the way so far, working lap 26 now, puts 25 laps on the board, so we're almost a third of the way home.
And Bourdain now about to get involved in lapping traffic.
There's Bruno in the hole-in-the-wall Camps 2 car.
And there was almost no choice for the, it was an obvious choice for the Newman Haas car to pull him in. He was not going to catch Bourdain. He was not going to make his way to the leaders. So this is a gamble now to hopefully have it fall his way to get to the leaders. He doesn't want to get a lap down here, though. And he's about to get a lap down. That is Dan Clark and Junqueira, who are squabbling over 13th and 14th place. This is not going according to plan here.
About a minute, the gap here. They are on the same lap. It is about a minute that Junqueira is behind the 1 car of Bourdain about to get lapped. Jan.
And what happens in this situation is Craig Hampson has just left the timing stand coming next door to talk to Bruno's crew. That's how they do it. They unplug, they go, and they have the discussion saying, okay, should we let him go through? We don't want to put you a lap down. Craig, what's the situation? You don't want Bruno to go a lap down, but you got to keep on it.
Yeah, I know. We've got 2 cars on 1 team, and each have opposing requirements right now.
What do you want to see happen?
Well, we need to get Sebastian by Bruno because the strategy we're on involves going fast.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. That is straight talk right there. Political at the start and then straight talk. But he's absolutely right, because Bourdain, remember, is racing Tracy Allmendinger and Wilson, who are absolutely going to hound his heels.
And it's already been done. Bourdain did get by Junqueira during that exchange. I think when Craig Hampson walked over there, that was the signal to go ahead and let him go. Let the champion get by. So Bourdain has lapped Junqueira now, but another caution at this point could certainly help the 2 team quite a bit. Now remember that Bourdain started the season like a house of fire. 4 consecutive wins beginning back at Long Beach in April. He built a huge championship lead that Allmendinger has chopped down the last 3 weeks. But let's take a look back at the season for Sebastian Bourdain, 2-time champion coming in. Really had no problem at all in Long Beach rolling to victory. In Houston, it was a tough night for him. Had to fight the track conditions and fight the Forsyth team as well. Mario Dominguez there ran 3rd in one of his final drives in car number 7. Then in Monterrey, Mexico, Bourdain triumphing in the hot weather. And at the Milwaukee Mile, Bourdain's first ever win on that flat oval. great run for Bourdain that day back in June. 4 consecutive wins for the two-time series champion to begin 2006.
And it all looked so easy back at the start of the season, but it sure didn't get easy once Allmendinger moved over to Forsyth, because that really has electrified this season. Well, Bourdain misses a little bit of the turn-in, is about a car width wide as he's lining up Dan Clark. But look at that exclusive club of 4 consecutive win drivers since 1979. The great Alonso Jr., and of course Alex Zanardi in that list too.
Bourdain.
Well, the game is beginning to change, because Bourdain just 1 lap earlier set fastest lap of the race, 60.3. There is Paul Tracy now just ahead of Wilson. So Bourdain beginning to inch the speed up here. Of course, as the cars get lighter, they get faster. Speaking of lighter, Paul Tracy, the disadvantage he has, particularly over A.J. Allmendinger, Tracy is a muscle man. He's a monster. He's 25 pounds heavier in that car than A.J. Allmendinger because of the sheer physical size of his body. Well, that's a big disadvantage.
Denise Kazimets is up ahead of this battle now, and he's the slower car in the Rocket Sports 18, the Flexivit machine. And these guys need to get by Kazimets. There they go. This is Wilson now, following Tracy, battling him for second spot.
Oh, hopefully Kazimets sees the train behind Tracy. There's the air pipe. See it to the left side of the cockpit. Never saw that before. We presume it ducts cool air into the driver's uniform. All the way through here is where it gets really difficult. You're absolutely on the limit. Allmendinger now needs to make his way by. Wilson is closed up. You can see that on Tracy. Wilson is one of the great late breakers. You go to any corner, he will break as late as anybody, enters the corner fairly quickly, has an early entry, completely different style to, let's say, an Oriol Servia or a Nelson Philippe, who break longer, straighter.
Well, Bridgestones, they put the blacks on. The standard issue Bridgestone Potenzas for Ranger fuel as well.
He is spokesperson for the Children's Miracle Network here in Canada. That's supported by Walmart, over 90 stores in Canada, and there's a great marketing effort to put that car on the racetrack. Jan, he's in.
And of course, this should be a great stop for Sebastian Bourdain, the fact that he's leading, but it's not good that he has to stop in front of the other leaders. You want to stop as late as you possibly can, and you can see it took a lot of fuel. Just over 10 seconds, a routine stop. He went with sticker tires, and now we have a new leader on the racetrack. And this, Derek, is when you really have to push. If someone pits before you, you stand on it and make some ground.
Now there's PT in car number 3, the Forsyth Index machine. He gets at least 1 extra lap there.
And an extra lap on a light fuel load. This is what Tracy needs to try and make up the gap. However, Bourdain ran like a scalded cat, and he had more than 6 seconds of lead. And believe it or not, this is hard to believe. This here will be the first lap that Paul Tracy, the biggest star name in Champ Car racing, this will be the first lap he's led all season long. That is hard to believe.
PT, of course, the thrill from West Hill, the native of the Toronto area, racing in front of his countrymen here this weekend in Edmonton. This has got to be an exciting moment for them and for him.
And Gary Lowe, who owns Speed Gear, sells the Champ Car merchandise, said he brought 3 times the merchandise here to Edmonton this weekend, and it was all sold by midday on Saturday.
Catherine Legg.
Another wing is gone.
Rear wing off the 20 car. The Bell Micro machine, leg back on, and she kept it running. She's got to be careful now with very little rear downforce.
My point on the Speed Gear, they sold 120 Forsyth racing shirts at more than $100 a piece, and they were gone in 5 hours, which gives you an indication of the support of Paul Tracy here.
And Justin Wilson beats him out. Awesome. Justin Wilson must have short filled, beat him out. A.J. Allmendinger now underway.
There's Wilson in front of Tracy as they leave pit road on lap 38. Let's reset for you. Tracy was the leader before that stop. Wilson comes off pit road ahead. Bourdain had stopped earlier. He's being shown in 4th position at the moment. We'll await scoring to recycle. Let's take a look here.
Tracy, right side of your screen. Allmendinger's in the middle. Wilson to the left side. Watch. They finish it, finish it, finish it. What's the crew? What's the crew? They love it. They just about 2 seconds faster than Tracy, and beat him at track position is so vital here at these type of speeds. Wilson balls ahead of the Tracy, but Bourdain is still leading when this cycles all the way around. He was more than 2 seconds a lap quicker, so maybe
hears, what appears to be happening is a right rear tire appears to be going down for Paul Tracy, according to the telemetry. So he may have to make another call to pit road.
He's on the button pretty hard here on one of the straightaways running toward pit road, but PT started second, ran second early on today, lost it on pit road to Wilson a few moments ago, struggling here now, didn't pit that time though, down into turn one.
Yikes. Okay, last lap was 62.0, same as Serbia, 2/10 quicker than Allmendinger. And again, Wilson was at 60.2, Bourdain 61.1. So Wilson is the fastest car of these leaders on the racetrack right now at this particular time. He has to run him down, because if it all shakes out as the first stint did, Wilson could potentially go 2 laps longer on this stint than Bourdain went on the last time.
Well, here's how Justin Wilson got second away from Paul Tracy on pit road. One more look.
Left side of the screen. Tracy, remember, was in first to his stop. Fuel is the last thing in. Oh, Wilson knows he has it. It's a drag race. And he just gets ahead of him. That is critical track position over your arch rival, Paul Tracy.
As we watch Wilson take off down pit road on the pit stop a few moments ago, interesting scenario. Wilson is catching up to Sebastian Bourdain. It's a 3.1 second gap now. Wilson's a little quicker at the moment. Jan Beekes.
And of course he's faster on the track, but maybe because you have less fuel. Anytime you gain a position, Jeremy, do you put less fuel in the car?
Well, you know, you never want to put in more than you need. Let's put it that way. Listen, we like where we are right now. We've been good on the blacks all weekend, especially high mileage blacks. The car's just been, you know, good in that configuration. That's what's showing up right now. Sebastian's struggling, AJ is struggling, Paul is struggling, and we feel good right now. He's closing down.
But you will have to pit earlier if you in fact split your fuel as you're hinting you might did. Is that a concern?
Well, the fact is, you know, if Sebastian took a full tank, he's not going to need a lot of fuel. So the question is, you know, are they going to be waiting on tires, or are they going to be waiting on fuel? We'll see.
Good call. Thank you.
He was talking about the high mileage tires. These Bridgestone Potenzas, despite the speed here, they have not dropped off on lap time very much. So you can go lap after lap. This is on board now with Justin Wilson. We have a camera just to show you how active it is inside the cockpit. Everything bounces around. His right hand grabs the steering wheel, grabs the gearbox, the gear shift. And you'll see him when he gets to the corner. He's down change. Accelerates, grab the gear, pull it back again. Keep your hand off the wheel. Oh, it's a motorcycle type gearbox. So all the up gears you pull it back, all the down gears you push it forward.
And Wilson's second, continuing to lap faster than Bourdain. 2.7 seconds the gap now as he tries to run down the championship leader, bidding for his first win of the season. Wilson ran that last lap, Derek, 0.8 quicker than Bourdain.
Oh, yeah, he is reeling him in, and he can see it. He can see he's getting closer and closer. So Wilson, this is a great fight here. He is reeling in the Bourdain car. The McDonald's car can see Wilson now in the mirrors. There they are. Bourdain's now stuck in traffic. Huge break here for Wilson.
Catching up to Dan Clark there. Some of the cars toward the back of the field. Here's Bourdain putting Denise Kazavets another lap down. And you can see Wilson right side of your screen. He's going to get held up by Kazavets through these twisty bits.
I don't know. When Kazavets sees the leader go by, he usually looks in the mirror. Dan Clark locks up the right front. Right in front of Bruno. They're still embroiling their little battle.
10th and 11th there.
Yeah. Where's Bourdain? Where's Wilson?
Bruno Junqueira holding the wall. Camp's 2 cars spun in turn 1 off the drop of the green. Runs 11th. Bourdain, the race leader, and the McDonald's #1. 2.2 seconds ahead of Wilson, who continues to chop into that lead.
He knows he's coming. 2 seconds was the last time past the scoring stripe on the start-finish line.
Alex Tagliani here 9th in the Aussie Vineyards car. Right behind him, of course, Junqueira. Dominguez there as well. Cameron Steele.
Well, I'm here with Derek Walker, the owner for Alex Tagliani, and looks like you guys are embroiled in quite a battle right now.
Yeah, I mean, the race car's very good, and great pit work. We got ahead of Nelson, so we're just doing the laps, you know, trying to close in on Tracy.
Is the fuel conservation something you guys are thinking about right now?
Well, we've already been there, done that. You know, at some stage during the race, you got to do it. So we've done a bit of that, and it's been no problem. You know, when the car works, you can really do it. So Will's doing a good job out there.
Thank you so much.
And he was talking about Will Power. He is having a good day. So Will Power did to Nelson Philippe what we saw Wilson do to Paul Tracy. That's how we got that position with faster pit work. Will Power right now 62.3, exactly the same time as Nelson Philippe, 62.3. But Tag is not having a great day. He set fastest lap of the race in a rebuilt car in Toronto, but he is just barely hanging on ahead of Junqueira in the top 10.
Meantime, the battle for the lead taking shape for McDonald's. Car number 1 of champion Sebastian Bourdain. His lead less than a second over Justin Wilson as they work traffic backside of this 1.9-mile circuit here in Edmonton at City Centre Airport. This is Tagliani's machine.
And Paul Newman is here. He is in the pit timing stand, as he is every race. Loves his motor racing, comes to see his boys do battle here.
With Craig Hampson, Craig, you said your strategy was speed, but now you're struggling for it.
Yeah, all we did was put on the other kind of tires, and the pressures look right, but the car has gone really bad. It looks like it must have a massive understeer by what he's done with the anti-roll bar. So, yeah, I got a problem on my hands with Justin right now, but I'm hopeful Justin short-filled, and we can at least keep him behind us and go a couple laps further.
All right, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you, Craig.
Craig mentions anti-roll bar. It's just anti-roll, stops the roll. He can adjust it inside the cockpit. That will help change the handling of the car, but it's not good enough. Wilson is absolutely running them down and on fire.
35 laps to go in Edmonton. Bourdain, Wilson, and Allmendinger, your top 3.
Weather your conditions.
Center Airport, the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton with Derek Daly, Iverick Benjamin. Sebastian Bourdain continues to lead now. 33 laps remain. Justin Wilson is half a dozen car lengths back. Can't get any closer, at least at the moment. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the final pit stop of the day. Jan Beekes.
With Al Spire, we catch our breath down here on pit road. It's been frantic, but it's also been hot. How tough is that on the 2 different sets of tires?
Well, it has been hotter in Edmonton this year than we expected, Jan. We've seen tread temperatures up in the 230-degree Fahrenheit range, but we haven't had any blistering. The durability's been great, and Sebastian's run really good on the red sidewall Bridgestones. He set the fastest lap, at least in the first segment, on the 31st lap, and Justin Wilson in second is thrilled with the blacks, so we're pretty happy with the Bridgestone performance.
Now, why is that? Because we hear that as we do the interviews, some people love one and hate the other. Why is that?
Well, I think it's just individual driving style, and we'd like to have a bigger difference between the black Bridgestones and the red ones, and that's what we're working on. This is kind of a laboratory for us. We're always taking back information and taking all the different drivers' views into account. But again, the durability is very important to us, and that's been just super here in Edmonton.
Thank you, Al.
You're welcome.
Durability has been exceptional with Bridgestone. By the way, this Wednesday, I actually took part in a Bridgestone event when we had a go-kart race. And I thought I was pretty hot, but Jim Schmidt, the general manager for consumer tires of Bridgestone Firestone Canada, absolutely waxed me in the go-kart and reminded me of it yesterday with a signed timing sheet.
You need to work out a little more. You need to get the car a little more of a go-kart in this case. Get your rhythm back. Sebastian Bourdain has given up the lead meantime. Justin Wilson has gotten by in the CDW9 car. Now, we had said the gap was 6 car lengths. Wilson couldn't close in. Now we were talking to Bridgestone's Al Spire. Here's the move.
Oh, he comes up behind him like a freight train under his rear wing and drags by him in the brake zone. I'm not saying that was easy, but I will tell you, Bourdain did not exit that corner very quickly and gave a golden opportunity for Wilson. Now, Wilson is going to streak away from him on these Bridgestone tires, which have lots of laps on them. He has loved his car all weekend long here. He is in his element right now with Justin Wilson. How big a lead can he pull on Bourdain before the next pit stop? Here it is again. He accelerates so much faster than Bourdain under the rear wing. Oh, Bourdain had the flashing light. He was on the button and he still couldn't stop him.
Well, Justin Wilson has used up most of his Cosworth power to pass time. You have 60 seconds This weekend, it's 75 horsepower. The base horsepower is 725, 800 when you're on the button. Cameron Steele.
I was just talking to Derek Walker, Alex Tagliani coming in, going for a different strategy. They are going to be hoping for a yellow flag. Derek says, you know what, we may as well go for it.
So one of the Team Australia cars coming back up onto the racetrack. Will Power was 6th. Let's ride here with Wilson in the CDW entry. Now the race leader. Led 4 laps here a year ago. Spun late. Looked like he had things going his way and might have won here last season. Spun late in the race over in turns 5 and 6 and gave it up. And Bourdain was able to close the deal and win.
Just look at that suspension movement to go across these airport runways. This track is not as bumpy as it was last year. The grinder was out to take away some of the severe bumps. Still, it is still a handful here. If you don't mind that on what we term this as sort of street racing, but I'm going to watch very closely Wilson's times now. 60.4 in the last lap. That was a full 0.6 of a second faster than Sebastian Bourdain. You see Bourdain beginning to fade in the mirrors of Wilson.
Now Justin Wilson building the lead. Now 2.2 seconds over Sebastian Bourdain. Wilson hasn't won yet this season. We talked to him about that before the start of the weekend.
Justin, after 4 runner-up positions this year, starting from 3rd, what's going to take to break that down and get your first win?
Just a good solid race car and a solid race, no mistakes. And you know, I think anything can happen on this track, as we proved last year. We handed away an easy 1-2 victory, you know, for Rousport, but hopefully we can change that this year and get the win.
Your miniature golf adversary, A.J. Allmendinger, has found the way to win this year. Does that frustrate you a little bit?
No, you know, we've got to still work on the basics and get our stuff together. You know, you can't afford to make mistakes or, you know, get things wrong. So, you know, that's what we're working hard on. Make sure that we don't leave anything on the table. And, you know, I think today, you know, is a good opportunity of doing that.
But it is splitting the strategy, just like Jeremy Dale had told us. So they're going to take on what fuel they need to get to the end. But the good news is Justin Wilson loves the car on the black Bridgestone. That was a nice quick stop, about 8.5 seconds. He'll give up the lead here, but they expect to get the lead back when the rest of the guys pit.
And Jan, the lead was 5.5 seconds. That's a fair bit of time for Bourdain to have to make up out on the racetrack. I'm not sure he can make that up. So as this cycles around, Wilson on these black Bridgestone Potenzas, I think he's feeling good right now, unless he gets caught by traffic here.
Coming up on Denise Kazimets in the Rocket Sports car, 61 laps. We've had 4 lead changes, 28, or rather 2 cautions for 8 laps so far. Fastest lap of the day to Justin Wilson on lap number 60, inside of a minute. Now, 24 laps to go, Derek. He didn't need a full tank of fuel either.
No, he didn't. He didn't need to be blocked by Kazimets. Not blocked as such, but he didn't need to get caught behind him, because that was only 5.5 seconds to Bourdain, who has now assumed the lead. There he is.
Bourdain, of course, not slowing yet. His lead 1.8 seconds last time by. Now Allmendinger cycles to 2nd spot. Wilson will cycle to 3rd after the pit stop exchange. Andrew Ranger on pit road at the moment of the Tide MyJack machine. Final stop of the day.
And you see him just get a bit sideways here. I'm sure Craig Hampson has told him, get on your bike here as fast as you can. Jan?
He has also told him that we want you to pit in 2 laps. That may sound surprising, but remember, he told us that Sebastian is not happy with the car. So even though he could go much longer on fuel, they're going to bring him in, get a new set of tires, make some changes, because they know in the current configuration, he's losing ground. They want to change the car so he can gain ground.
Speaking of losing ground, for the sake of the championship, Allmendinger needs to try and get himself closer to Bourdain. He needs to finish ahead of Bourdain to try and close the gap on this great championship fight.
Well, as we watch the scoring monitor and scoring recycles, Bourdain shown 7 seconds ahead of Allmendinger, as they are shown 1-2 right now on lap 63. Wilson 23 seconds back, so timing and scoring resetting. Paul Tracy 4th. Oriol Servia, who just made his final pit stop, is 5th in trouble. Bourdain gets caught out nearly there with Tagliani, who goes into the tires and knocks the front wing. The 20 car, Catherine Legg, has lost another rear wing, 3rd time today. So the Aussie Vineyards car stuck in the tires. They'll have to pull him back. That could be a full course yellow.
What happened here? Bourdain, that is Tagliani, right side. Bourdain shoots down the inside, tags him. I can't believe that happened.
and ran over. It looked like he bumped into at least the number 20's wing. Another look.
Now the key is there any damage on the McDonald's car? Left rear of Bourdain tags the right front of Tag, sends him into the wall, but Catherine must have had an incident.
Or perhaps that was left from earlier there. I can't imagine they would have left that sitting there.
Sure.
All right, to pit road. Here comes Bourdain.
And they wanted to pit about now anyway. They're going to check the car over for damage. They're going with the red sidewall Bridgestone, which typically he doesn't like as much. They look at it quickly.
AJ
is in as well. We see from behind that was a quick stop for AJ. No changes there also. It's pretty much stationed between the two of them. Now they're waving down Paul Tracy, who's on his way as well. He's going to slide into his spot. Remember, he did not like the right rear. He said a tire was going down. They checked the telemetry, and the tire wasn't going down. It just felt like to Paul Tracy it was going down. Now that we're replacing, wow, that was a quick one, and Paul Tracy's back underway.
Wow, Jan, I can tell from your voice that is harem-scarum time down there when you have so many pit stops and such. Oh, he's on the dirt on the way out. But there's so much at stake when you make these pit stops that Tracy just crashes over the top of the curbs in pursuit now of Wilson and Allmendinger.
So it's Bourdain, Allmendinger, Wilson, and Tracy, and caution. Full course yellow with 21 laps to go today here at Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. City Centre Airport. They call it Jagflow Speedway this year. Paul Tracy just off of pit road, and the yellow flew as soon as he got back on the racetrack.
Okay, now we have a scenario where Wilson has cycled back to the front of the field. He is on the preferred regular black sidewall Bridgestone Potenzas. Bourdain has gone on to what some people believe to be the faster of the Bridgestone Potenzas, the red sidewall. So you got reds versus blacks coming up, but Bourdain was lucky he got away with. Have a look at this here. In the Tag incident, Bourdain comes down inside Tag, muscles him out of the way, sends Tag into the wall, but look at this here. Catherine's wing is somewhere on the road. There it is, Catherine's wing right there. Bourdain whacks the wing, just kisses it.
And with the left front, he had the tires, he had the brakes locked there as he went up over the curbing there.
I think he might have got away with this. Look, Bourdain's out of the groove. Look, he's away from the... Oh, man, look at the right side. Oh, he kisses it right side. Ooh, Bourdain just beginning to say to Wilson, you better get on your game here, because I'm going to snap at your heels, and here we go.
16 laps to go to settle it today in Edmonton. Justin Wilson, who led 4 laps a year ago, spun out of the lead, gave it up as Bourdain won. We're back underway. Moved by Serbia there, trying to get to 4th, holds off Tracy.
Oh, did you see the 3 wide also? Back there with Tag, I believe it was. Or was that Will Power?
Will Power up at the moment in 7th. They did fix Tagliani's car. They gave him a new nose wing, and he is back to try to finish. Meantime, Bourdain, 2 car lengths behind Wilson for the lead.
And can he get the balance back? Does he have it back on the Bridgestone Reds? Can he now hound Justin Wilson? And can the 2 Forsyth boys, the 2 blue cars, 3rd and 4th right now, can they run this Englishman down?
Justin Wilson, great personality, smiling this morning, frustrated with those 4 runner-up finishes and no wins so far. Oh, 1 car in the wall, one of the CTHVM cars. Nelson Philippe's birthday ride comes to an early end. He has stuffed the Wellbox 4 car into the tires, and that will bring out another full course yellow with 16 to go. Same spot, Derek. Turns 5 and 6. Many drivers have been caught out in that section here this weekend.
Oh, he gets the sideways under Power.
Car in front of him bobbled too.
Hey, there's oil down. I think there's oil down.
That was a hard hit. That car may be well done for the day. Did look like there was fluid down. The car that was in front of Philippe there, sideways on that replay.
I think there was oil down. We saw Philippe get sideways. Then we saw... Just watch this in slow motion again. Under Power. Look, the car ahead of him. Who is that? That's Bruno. Gets it sideways. Nelson got sideways. Now he turns in normal. Oh, look, complete ice and straight wallop into the tires.
I believe that was Oriol Serbia actually in front there, and Nelson Philippe okay. He's out of the race car. 2nd week in a row that a good run will end prematurely for Nelson Philippe. Let's show you the highs and lows of his season. First career podium came on the Milwaukee Mile back in June. He finished third there, racing here beautifully to pass some of the faster cars. Came in behind Bourdain. In Cleveland, he led laps. An electrical problem caused him to coast off the racetrack late while he had the lead. Thought his first win might have been in the offing. He was strong at Toronto, led laps as well. Huge wreck there with Serbia at the end of the backstretch, late in the going. Both of their days coming to a premature end. And then today, Philippe celebrating his 20th birthday this morning, but a problem heading down into turn 5. Justin Wilson, your leader. Points leader Sebastian Bourdain second. The gap tight, Derek, 3/10 as we took the green a moment ago.
This is a straight dogfight here between Bourdain and Justin Wilson. There's Carl Russo, owner of Ruse Sports. Right behind them, Tracy got passed by Serbia in a demon-out braking maneuver into turn 1 right off the start.
They have swapped fourth, Tracy and Serbia, several times this afternoon. Allmendinger remains third, 1.8 seconds back. You can get a glimpse of the Forsyth Index 7 car back there in third.
There he is.
Just doesn't seem to quite have enough speed to get up and challenge for the lead here.
Okay, tighten your belts down, AJ. Take a big deep breath, white knuckles, because if you want to get points over Bourdain, you need to find a way to catch him and pass him. Cameron?
Well, I'm here with Carl Russo, the owner for Justin Wilson. Now, we've heard you joke around about Paul Newman and wanting to kiss him. Before the race, you guys did a high 10, so to speak, joking around. But right now, there's no joking around the racetrack between your two teams.
There's no joking around the racetrack at all. Sebastian and Justin are well and truly engaged in a battle. They've been battling for some 40 laps right now. Justin's been able to bring the CDW car to the front. We think he's got a good car on blacks, but everybody else is on reds, so we'll see.
Making second back in third position. Laps winding down, less than 10 to go here at City Centre Airport in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Justin Wilson perhaps on his way to his first win of the season. Allmendinger and Bourdain want to have something to say about it. We'll be back. To go as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. The Champ Car Grand Prix of Edmonton underway, 8th race of the year, and Justin Wilson has waved goodbye to Sebastian Bourdain. Derek, he's built the lead to almost 3 seconds with just a handful of laps to go.
He is in control now. And after each session, he was a bit miffed as to why new tires did not go that much faster. New tires, when the rubber gets hot for the very first time, it usually gives you more grip, therefore more speed. He always liked his car on used tires, and this is proving just how good that car is well set up on used tires.
Now the gap between second and third, Allmendinger about a second and a half behind Bourdain. Cosworth power to pass on the left side of your screen. 75 horsepower on tap today, 725 the base horsepower. Show you what's remaining here. Jan Halen is out, Kamada is out, Junkera is out, Zwolsman. As you look at the contenders at the bottom of your screen, Oriol Serbia is in one of the best positions of anyone. He's got the 6th most time left, Eric, and of the contenders, he's the strongest of those cars remaining. He's got 48 seconds of 75 additional horsepower left, but he's about 3 seconds behind A.J. Allmendinger as he tries to get close to third. 6 laps to go, Jan Beekes.
And that 3 seconds with 6 laps to go with Jimmy Vasser, you've got power to pass time. Is it enough to close that gap and go for the podium?
Well, we hope so. You know, funny story, I told him I'd pay him $1,000 if he used it on the restart. He doesn't like to use the button, but he pushed it, got the Gulfstream car back past Tracy. We're hoping to run Allmendinger down, but with 5, 6 to go, it's not looking like it, but, you know, anything can happen.
Now, why do drivers not want to use it? Why do you have to bribe them $1,000 to make the...
I think he tries to save it for the end or something, but, you know, PT passed him on the first restart, and he didn't hit the button, so, yeah, it was just kind of a joke, but we got 5 to go here. It's probably going to be looking like we're going to be 4th, but, you know, we're optimistic to get the Gulfstream car on the podium.
Still got some power to pass. You know, $1,000, that's a pretty good deal.
Maybe 1,000 more.
Yeah, right him another check. You know, Jimmy Vasser has never actually retired for Champ Car racing, but I asked the question today, would he race again? And the feeling is he's done with Champ Car racing. Will race in sports cars, but the feeling is Jimmy is done with Champ Cars.
Well, that would be a shame if we don't see Jimmy Vasser strap on one of these missiles for the rest of the season. We were told he might drive a few more races this year. Carl Russo, the owner of the Ruse Sport team, Justin Wilson's CDW entry, out in front, gunning for their first victory of 2006. The driver out of Great Britain won twice a year ago, including the season finale at Mexico City, second in the championship a year ago. Hoping to steal the title this year from Bourdain. He's fought hard. Today, things have gone their way, Derek. 4 laps remain.
Group of people here from England that support Justin Wilson, part of the 900 who invested in his career on the British Stock Exchange. They literally wrote checks to fund the budget for him to be in Formula One, and they're still in the supporters club, and they're here this weekend to see their hero. Oh, what a weekend they may have here.
A.J. Allmendinger in third, went by a moment ago. Here is Serbia in the Gulfstream PKV car number 6. A nice fourth for Oriol Serbia. And Paul Tracy back there in 5th. PT in car number 3, the Forsyth Index entry. Started on the outside pole, Derek. Thought he had a tire going down. Thought he could win here today. It's got to be a frustrating afternoon for Paul Tracy.
And it's all about setup. All about what you get this car to do in and out of corners on the race day condition. And they did not hit it as well as the Rousport team did with Justin Wilson this weekend. But winning a championship or contending for a championship, oh, I love that shot again, is all about the average, being above average through the whole course of a season, as opposed to being brilliant on one day and terrible on the next day.
3 laps to go. Justin Wilson in the CDW car. Now, remember a year ago when he was leading, he spun with, what, 4 laps to go and gave up the lead. So Justin Wilson, I'm sure, thinking about what happened here last season when he had the opportunity to win. Now, here's Will Power in the Aussie Vineyards car number 5. And, Derek, he had that huge wreck on Friday when he flew across the grass, hit one of the barriers, and one of our camera guys had to jump to safety. Leads the Roche France Rookie of the Year standings comfortably with 85 points. And Power may be the story of the day here because he's running 6th in that car number 5. He's the last car on the lead lap after coming back from this incident 2 days ago.
Lost it at high speed. Watch this. Lost it one way to the other way. Oh, 150 miles an hour back. Boom! Just destroys the Walker entry. Knows he's in deep trouble here. Boom! Sent our cameraman scurrying off the top of that platform. And just last week, he took a car to his primary school in Toowoomba. 10,000 people showed up to see him demonstrate, he and Tagliani, on a whirlwind tour of Australia promoting the Surfers Paradise race. But back to our leader. Justin Wilson is absolutely magic right now. You know, the strange thing is, I see Justin Wilson's head begin to lean outside the cockpit as if his neck muscles have got so sore and tired he doesn't have the strength to hold it up anymore.
Now, it's been very hot here all weekend, as we've documented. Not quite as hot today as it was yesterday when it got very close to 100 degrees here. They expected temperatures to top out in the upper 80s today. And we started pretty early today, 11 o'clock local time, 1 o'clock Eastern. Wilson will see the white flag. He's seen the white flag. Last trip around this 1.9-mile, 14-turn circuit for Justin Wilson.
And that was David Brown that was standing beside Carl Russo. David Brown came to this team with a wealth of Formula One knowledge with teams like Williams and McLaren. Boy, they have had a great day today.
Justin Wilson with a good lead. His lead is 8 seconds over Sebastian Bourdain. You don't see Bourdain get passed and then get waxed like that very often.
And that's what happened today here. What a day here for Justin Wilson. You just had a sense after the warm-up this morning, and he wasn't the fastest in that. He was only 5th fastest, but he always said this car is good on multi-lap tires, which is what he's on right now.
Allmendinger 3rd, Serbia 4th, Tracy heading to the stripe. First time in 2006, Justin Wilson brings the CDW Rousport car number 9 home, the winner today of the Champ Car World Series Grand Prix of Edmonton. Second spot, the points leader, Sebastian Bourdain. A.J. Allmendinger's string of 3 consecutive wins comes to an end. The young American will be on the podium, though. He finishes 3rd for the Index Forsyth Championship Racing Team. Wilson dishes up some donuts here in front of the fans at City Centre Airport in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Winner Justin Wilson still getting a toe in toward victory lane today. We're getting set to wrap up the CBS portion of our coverage. We want to remind all of our Canadian viewers to stay tuned to Global for special extended coverage from today's event. Let's get the thoughts of the 3rd place finisher, Cameron Steele.
Steele.
Jeremy Dale, the president for Roo Sport. You guys needed a big win this season. Now you have it. Do you think this can take you over the hump, start with some momentum?
So back to second in the championship. Looks like it's going to be a good fight, Derek, between the top three.
For the rest of the season, we look forward to this Allmendinger-Wilson-Bourdain fight. I don't know whether Tracy can join it, but we got an awesome championship fight on our hands.
California on a temporary street course for the second consecutive year. Improvements have been made there. Again, check your local listings for our coverage next Sunday afternoon. In Victory Lane. So long from Edmonton, everyone. Thanks for watching the Champ Car World Series. We will see you next time.